All right, we got time for a couple more calls. I know people have been holding for a long time. Calling from a 905 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Sam. This is David Dole calling from Toronto. I'm also known as the Rational National.
Oh, the Rational National.
Yesterday.
I've heard. Oh, you came up
right.
yesterday on the program.
Yeah. I was. So I had a video a few months ago. I guess that's what the IM was referring to, about discussing or kind of defending Jimmy Dore. But I mean, so just to clear the air, I'm a big fan of both you and Jimmy Dore. I watch both your shows.
I'm sorry.
I think you both serve a purpose, and I feel like Jimmy sort of gets the raw deal from you, to be honest, and I think it comes down to sort of a misunderstanding. So the way I view Jimmy Dore is he speaks to the anger, the emotion that people feel, whereas you speak more to the intellect and the I mean, you have a long format show, so you can go deeper into topics, discuss policy and that sort of thing, whereas Jimmy Dore it's for a lot of people, they're either going to watch or they're going to be grabbed by somebody like Alex Jones or grabbed by Jimmy Dore. And I'd rather them be grabbed by Jimmy Dore and then hopefully also graduate onto other progressive voices.
I don't have a problem with Jimmy Dore being emotional, but I have a problem with him not knowing what he's talking about. I mean, and I don't know
But
how much you dug into what my beef with him was about, but I mean, I watched a clip of Aggressive Progressive where, and he didn't specifically say, I got no problem with Peter Thiel. What's the big deal about Peter Thiel as a Supreme Court justice? But he did not seem to know what the filibuster was. And he did think it was fantastical, the idea that Mitch McConnell would get rid of the filibuster. These are basic facts that you can either deliver in a really emotional way or in an arm's length way. But to get them wrong...
I mean, it's almost...
But wait, let me finish. To get them wrong, to me, is you're just talking nonsense. And that is such a basic... I mean, look, the fact is there's really no debate. I get that people don't get emotional about the Supreme Court, maybe, or the federal judiciary, or things like, net neutrality. He was mad because 3 Democrats voted to okay the FCC chair Ajit Pai, who was a former commissioner. Yeah, that's a problem. But guess what? Completely predictable. And it's just like politics work in this way. You do something or someone does something and then something happens because of it. And he divorces those things in a lot of what he says. I don't watch every one of his videos. And so it was in that context in which I said to him, I called him up or I emailed him. I said, Jimmy, we're going to go over a video of yours on the show tomorrow. If you want, come on the show and we can just have the debate about the importance of the Supreme Court. And he said, no, go ahead. Then apparently he was listening to the show and he called in. So we had a debate about it. Mm-hmm. And what I find really annoying too is that, like, look, I came from comedy. I have no pedigree. I have no credentials that make it any more legitimate for me to sit here than anyone else. And nor that does he. But what I never do, what he did, is I don't say I'm a comedian or I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm not responsible for what I'm talking about, which is what he did on that program. And then he went on to go and debate it more on Twitter. And so I said, hey, I'm happy to have a round 2. Even though he basically said, I didn't know, I'm quoting him, I'm not sure I know what I'm talking about. I get what you're saying. And then he wanted to continue it on Twitter. And I said, okay, well, let's go on to your show and do it, because I gave him access to my audience to make his argument, and I want access to his audience to make an argument that actually it does make a difference if Peter Thiel is a Supreme Court justice. In fact, it makes every difference in the world who that Supreme Court justice is. Because I can tell you, in 6 months, public sector unions in this country are going to be decimated. Decimated. And that's just the beginning of this shit. That's the best case scenario. And he's telling his audience of 50, 60, 80,000 people, 250,000 people, it doesn't make a difference, but then turns around and complains because 3 Democrats don't vote to support unions? That's fucking nonsense. It's nonsense.
Yeah,
and then when he says to me he's going to have me on his show, then he sends me an email and says, I can't now. I'm too busy. The guy is full of shit. He doesn't allow anybody to question what he says, which is why you could never call into his show, because he doesn't know bullshit about what he's talking about. So my problem with him is that he is in the exact same playing field I am. We have the exact same credentials. Yeah, slightly bigger audience maybe he has on YouTube. In fact, we even bought the same goddamn suit at Gentleman's Warehouse last time I saw him. The exact same suit. And he's spewing bullshit to his audience. And I paid him the respect to come on and defend his arguments, which he did poorly in my estimation, but that's for people to. And then he wouldn't let me do the same on his show. And that says to me that A, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and B, he doesn't have the fucking balls to back it up. And meanwhile, he's just spewing misinformation to people who are important for actually doing real politics.
Yeah, and I understand all of that, and I understand, I totally agree that it would be awesome if you were on his show and discussed that stuff. But we're talking about, so Jimmy Dore's audience is honestly a fraction of what somebody like Joyanne Reid has. And I know you think you don't have much crossover with MSNBC, but I mean, you're on MSNBC. There definitely is crossover. And I think you have the ability to speak to those, the centrist Democrats, whereas Jimmy Dore has the ability to speak to people who may not know all that much about politics, but they're angry.
Now they know less.
In with that anger.
Now they know less.
Sorry?
Now they know less.
No, but I think you're cherry picking specific topics and videos.
Oh no, cherry picking would be me saying cherry picking would be me saying that
you guys
cherry picking would be me saying, hey, you can't tell if somebody has Parkinson's from 60 feet away in a clip of video. That would be me cherry picking.
No, but
cherry picking would be me saying, hey, maybe the fucking guy on Fox who thinks that there's pink lesbian, marauders doesn't know what he's talking about, Seth Rich. That would be me cherry picking.
But when it comes to policy, you guys align on policy. And I think if you were able to, both of you, come together and be able to have this discussion where
he's the one who lied to me about, he's the one who lied to me.
For different reasons.
Call into his show. He's the one who lied to me about inviting him on. Call into his show. Oh, wait, you can't. Oh, why don't you tweet at him and see how long it takes for him to block you?
Yeah, but you guys just have different shows. I mean, he doesn't have a
yeah, I wonder why that is.
Not many YouTubers have call-in shows.
I wonder why he does have a live show, actually. But I wonder why he doesn't want to have anyone question what he says. I mean, for a guy who says his stuff as if it's the God's truth, he sure doesn't want to have an argument with anybody. In fact, I think he even kicked one of his sidekicks off when they were like, hey, man, this doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'm not here to speculate that.
I'm not speculating anything.
I'm just seeing it from a top level view where both of you align for the most part on policy, and you just have different ways of going about it. And
yes,
sure,
I actually tell people
things that aren't
facts.
Real or aren't real. But
I tell people facts,
sorry?
And I tell people stuff that is researched. He doesn't. He wants to make some money on YouTube.
Wrong too, sometimes you thought I was a right winger yesterday.
What's
that?
So
like we all get things wrong.
What?
I thought you were a right-winger.
Right-winger.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I thought
Because
based on, I mean, the connotations of rational national are right-wing, at least in the American context. But I corrected that immediately.
Yeah.
And I apologize
I know,
for that.
but I'm just saying people get things
And I didn't hang
wrong.
up on you and say,
I
"Oh,
would say
Rational
people have a
National,
larger
I can't have you on my
audience,
show
like
because
somebody on
I don't
MSNBC.
feel well. I can't have you on my show. So click so that nobody knows that you're not a right winger." You don't think that's a material difference? You don't think that makes a difference? You don't think it's important?
Absolutely, but
you don't think, let me ask you this, honestly, do you honestly think that it doesn't make a difference if Jimmy and I both agree that there should be single payer and that we're supportive of unions, but then it doesn't make a difference who the fifth Supreme Court justice is? Who potentially the sixth and seventh Supreme Court justice? I mean, it's like, that's like saying, I don't even know if I can come up with an analogy. It's like saying, hey, we both want to go we both want to go to Toronto. Doesn't make a difference if we walk or take a plane. In fact, that's not even enough of an analogy.
I just feel
that's like saying it doesn't make
discussions that could be had and could be hashed out.
No, they can't, because you know why? He doesn't want to have them. Did you not hear that part of the story where he was the one who didn't want to have any more conversations? He was the one who just wanted to espouse his bullshit. I
don't even necessarily mean conversations on the air. I just mean like...
Oh, I'm having a conversation. I'm saying he is irresponsible, does not check his facts, does not know the fundamental basics of how our government works, but espouses bullcrap. That's my comment. Now he can do his video.
All right, I don't really agree with you. I understand some of his videos may come off that way, but content as a whole. No, when you take his content as a whole,
your name is Rational National. Is it rational? No, you're right. He's not lying to people all the time. But here's the thing: how do you know when he is and when he isn't?
This is the thing. I think most of his audience does know. So
do you think most of his audience sat
in my
there?
own comments where people
really
enjoy both your shows?
Do you think most of his audience sit there and go like, maybe it doesn't matter that Peter Thiel would be Supreme Court justice?
Yeah, I think most people are
well, then most people
rational enough to be able to figure that out.
Okay, then most people are rational enough to know Sam's just got a bug up his ass, and that's it. I mean, I don't understand like why. If you think the audience can figure it all out and it's completely irrelevant, why are you even weighing in?
No, I mean on some topics, like. So, I mean...
Wait. You think the part about... Wait. I'm sorry.
Don't agree
Hold on, let me ask you. You think the part about Sam doesn't think that Sam thinks this guy is full of shit because of X, Y, and Z is not decipherable for the audience, but the idea that, like, the Supreme Court's not important, like filibuster, they can filibuster when they're in the majority. I mean... You think that you think the audience needs more direction about the personal, the personal or the argument between Jimmy and I versus like the not so intricate, but apparently are intricacies of policy? I mean, come on.
No, but
he disempowers people. He disempowers people. He sends them on.
But you act like Jimmy is the only guy that lies. Or that has said a mistruth.
How much time do you think I got
online?
How much time do you think I got?
Sorry?
How much time do you think I got?
What do you mean?
Well, I can't go every single liar, and I'm certainly not. Jimmy's not the only one. But Jimmy, like I say, we share audiences. You've said that. I don't have a lot of people who come up in my. I don't have people who come into my comments going like, "Hey, man, didn't like that comment about Joy-Ann Reid." I've never met that person.
Yeah, because
because I'm sacrosanct to Joy-Ann Reid.
When you make rational arguments about Joy-Ann Reid, they're fairly clear. I mean, she she's strong on criticizing conservatives.
Dude, I
but
don't.
There's no
I agree.
introspection there on the Democratic Party.
I agree.
And I think
She is a
anyone
Democratic
can make that
operative.
argument.
I mean, like, professionally. But I'm telling you
What's that?
that I share more of an audience with Jimmy Dore than I do with Joy Irene. Jimmy Dore
maybe.
and I could not be of similar demographics. If you were to go into a factory and make a Jimmy Dore replica or a Sam Seder replica, either one of us might come out on the other side. So it makes every sense in the world for me to be focused on this guy who has a substantial audience, who is putting out what I consider to be bullshit and disempowering bullshit.
I just think there are better ways of explaining it than
Bull crap.
attacking him.
Well,
Yeah, then,
I mean, you know what the best way would
can
be?
lay out the
For
argument,
us to
I don't know, calmly.
have a debate. That would be the best way to do it. But you know what, dude?
Or just a discussion. Like,
Yeah,
so
a
you guys don't
discussion.
need to fight on topics. Just
Right.
have a discussion.
I agree. And he said that he would have me on, and then he blew it off because he realized he didn't want to look like an ass in front of his audience because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Appreciate the
All right.
call. I mean, I think it's pretty rational. That should be right up your alley. I think I'm
You
being,
are. I watch you all the time.
I think that's pretty rational on my part. So, I mean, all right, appreciate the call. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Holy cow. What a day. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos